take a close-up of the wood burning. This edge right here and this edge right here is needs to be sharp, and that because it's flat, you'll see a difference when I go. Now that's nice and shiny. So when you're going, you want to push back with your finger and lift up at the same time, and about 7 strokes will do it. Now you can buy a power one that spins. Problem is you chew that chain off extremely fast, and just using a $4 file is makes the chain last a lot longer, because you can sharpen it 5 or 6 or 7 times before you actually get to the end of the tooth. So I lock the handle so that the chain doesn't move, go across the bar, change direction, go the other way, and then just take the brake off, slide it along until you see the shiny one where you started again, and then you've got a nice sharp chain. So here we go. You see a little edge coming, and when you can take that and just scrape that off, you know you got a nice sharp. I use this one for some concrete forming, and I think I hit some gravel and some nails a couple times. So usually it should only take 7 or 8 strokes. I'm up to about 10, 11, 12 before I see that nice edge that I'm looking for. This chainsaw is awesome. This chainsaw has made me so much money with the chainsaw carvings and everything I do with it for the pole barns and that, cutting the top of the posts. It was my first boss that got me into chainsaw carving. When I was 14, I worked in construction, and it was raining one day, so he goes, "Well, we're not going to work." And he says, "But if you want to do some chainsaw carving." So he showed me how to start it, and he showed me how not to cut myself. And I made probably about 3 or 4 dozen carvings. I never got as serious as he did. And it was supposed to be my backup for when I was slow in construction or mechanics. And another way to make a little bit of income. But I have a log outside that's waiting to be turned into a bear, and it's been laying there for 3 years. And I've only done a couple shows, and done at our town fair and stuff. And I made a couple carvings for people on request, but I really haven't done anything for a long time. But there's some neat shows on, I forget, my brother keeps telling me about how awesome these shows are. Canadian Carver, or Carving Kings, or something to that effect. I don't watch much TV, I don't have much time, but he says they're good shows, so look them up. Takes about 10 minutes, less time than it takes you to drive to town and drop it off. There's a bit too much slack on the chain. And that's what happens when they're dull and you push really hard. It gets hot and then it stretches. So you loosen these 2 bolts. Most of them have a tightener, but make sure that you loosen the 2 bolts that hold the chain, the bar in place before you try to turn the screw. This is just a little plastic housing in there. So we'll crack these loose, we'll tighten it, and we'll see if we made a difference. What you want is it coming back into the bar on its own, but not under a lot of tension. And just snug her back up again. Let's see how that works. What you want to see is these nice big flakes coming out. That means you got a nice sharp chain. There we go. To follow a variety variety of projects that include conversions and repairs to anything from Ferraris to chainsaws. And check out the Take Boss, my newest invention that's coming to market. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.